Girls volleyball has a rich tradition in the Santa Barbara community. All three city high schools, San Marcos, Dos Pueblos, and Santa Barbara, have won CIF titles and have sent several players to Division I college programs. In the last 2 years, Dos Pueblos and Santa Barbara have formed one of the great rivalries in the CIF Southern Section. In 2008, they met for the Division I championship. DP had won the two Channel League clashes, but Santa Barbara stepped up in the CIF title match in front of more than 3,000 fans at UCSB's Robb Gym and swept the Chargers for the title. Last year, the Dons fell short in the semifinals, and a Dos Pueblos team loaded with 5 Division I recruits rolled to its first title in school history. What's fueled this great rivalry? How pumped up are this year's players about the two Channel League showdowns? And is another CIF matchup in the cards? Presidio Sports looks at this great volleyball rivalry between local schools. How do you feel about that matchup coming into this year?
I feel like it's going to be pretty equal. It's going to be really an intense game. It's going to be really fun because Santa Barbara, we play club together, all the girls we know, so it's really fun just to like know that we're playing, like we're always friends, and then it's a fun rivalry. It's just always fun to go to.
So Santa Barbara wins it 2 years ago. You guys last year. Is this kind of seen as maybe you both you guys have a chance? Is this like the rubber match, like the tiebreaker maybe this year?
Yeah, it could be. I'm excited. We're gonna give it our all this season and just hope for the best. Woo!
It's what we look forward to all season. There's a huge crowd every single time, and it gets you really excited and nervous, but it's a good nervous playing against them. It's weird because we all know how each other play because we played with each other for a long time, but it's all business when we get on the court.
Do you think it's kind of up in the air this year between you two?
Yeah, I think it is. I think I said this at the beginning of the season. I don't know if I should be saying this now, but I think it's our year. It's our turn again, and we have a lot of returning players and a lot of really good girls, so I think this year's our year.
When our whole team came together, like we knew that we were going to win from like the very beginning. It just like our chemistry just like went together and everything worked, and ever since that we've been wanting to beat them again because we want to like keep that going. So this year is going to be a really good match and we can't wait to play them.
Yeah, the rivalry, I've been coaching here 8 years, the boys and the girls, and that rivalry was here the first day I stepped on a volleyball court to start coaching and learning volleyball. And so for me as a teacher at Dos Pueblos and being a part of this community, even in other sports, you know, that the Charger pride comes out, and the Santa Barbara DP rivalry has always been huge since I've been teaching here for 10 years and coaching for 8. So, and then in terms of, you know, we've had the Santa Barbara Volleyball Club has really stepped it up in terms of, you know, having a lot of teams, getting kids into the club, and a lot of the girls are playing year-round and playing at a really high level. So that obviously filters down to the high schools, and then obviously the high schools have had some great coaches in the past too that have fueled, you know, great athletes.
A high take for you guys. How do you see the matchup with Santa Barbara in particular this year?
We're just going to have to play solid, minimize our mistakes. I mean, you know, we're working a lot on the fundamentals, we're working a lot on our ball control, and you know, as you kind of look at the matchups, there's a couple big arms on each team and some good defense on each team, and so you just sort of you know, plan your practices and try to improve in everything, and then have some game strategy when you play those athletes, you know, that you know Santa Barbara has, and that you've coached to, and you know some of their tendencies and stuff, so that's a lot of fun.
And then talk to me about how special these last few years have been with the amount of great players that have come through and the intensity of these matches.
Yeah, it's been just really great because like you said, the level of the player in this town has just kind of been at an all-time high these last 4 years, and with, you know, players like we've had here with Emily Rotman, Kristen Deely, Catherine Keller, those players just kind of set a really high standard for the whole Santa Barbara High program. And then Dos Pueblos had their kind of, you know, group of star players, and so those players all pushed themselves to play at a high level, so that we were really competing and having a lot of success against some of the best teams in Southern California. And that was really kind of great to see, is that we were not only being successful up here, but we were being successful throughout Southern California and the whole state of California. Girls, you don't need to tell them it's a big match. They know it's a big match. So the day of the game at school, they're really fired up. You can see them in the hallways. It looks on their faces. They're ready to go. And I think that's just a really kind of neat thing to have, where you have such a natural rival, and the level of play is so high. So it's the combination of the two. You might have a natural rival, but if the level of play is not equal or not really that high, it may not be the same kind of event or have the same feeling for it. So that's kind of what we have with DP right now.
Usually, one school might attract all the great players and stuff like that, but how did this happen where it kind of just stacked up you guys against each other?
DP kind of went through building the program throughout this last decade, going from basically an 0-8 season all the way up to being an undefeated team in league, and having that success, it drew girls to Dos Pueblos. Well, with us, we always kind of draw girls to Santa Barbara High because of just who we are and the tradition that we had over those long period of time. DP, it's been a shorter run-up to have that success, but they've done a good job of doing that, and I think that's made it so it's ultra competitive. And open enrollment is really the real reason, because now kids can go where they want to go, and that's happening with kids going to DP for whatever reason they want to go there, and kids come to Santa Barbara for the same reason.